Hi, this is Brent with Production Expert. In this video, I want to show you how to create radio-ready pop vocals. We'll be exploring how to make vocal chops such as this, and we'll also be taking vocals from this,
All I hear is the sound of fear.
to this.
All I hear is the sound of fear.
Something that I see all too common in pop vocal production is EQ and dynamic decisions that are quite destructive and can actually make things sound worse. A great starting point with F6 is to load up full reset, and this gives us a completely flat EQ to work with. Now what I want to do is, I want to basically tighten the Q of these bands here, and there's a very specific reason why. With a tight Q, I can basically focus in on very specific frequencies for each individual band. I can also solo these in F6, and now I can listen for problematic frequencies without doing unnecessary boosts to amplify certain frequencies. Let's have a listen and scan through using the frequency control. So here there's a lot of low rumble frequencies that are very boxy, and the same thing for number 2, but just a little bit more of those upper mids are coming through. So I want to attenuate these, but I don't want to lose the body of my vocal, because roundabout from here to the third marker is where the body of the vocal is going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back on the gain to make a small cut at about -1 dB, and then I'm going to pull back on the range marker. Now I'm going to attenuate the threshold, and I'll do this to taste by playing the vocal back.
All I hear is the sound of fear. We can see we're destined to be.
So we are getting temperamental cuts there at about -6 dB, but then it goes back to the original level so that we don't lose all of the quality that we have within the body of the vocal. I'm then going to repeat the process here, and we'll move on to the next plugin in the chain. So after making those decisions using F6, I still want to bring out a little bit more of the tone in the vocal, but I want to do it in a plugin which is sort of no frills, nice and easy, and a great plugin for that is OVox. It's not super technical because it's mainly focused around creative vocal processing, but this tone knob down here is very underappreciated. I've actually turned off the correction mode here, and then I have to bring the voice up to a level where it is matched to the original level. And then I've turned off OVox on both sides, so we're not actually using this section of the plugin, we're using the tone section. So I'll return this to 0, and then I'll show you what it does to the actual vocal.
All I hear is the sound of fear. We can see we're destined to be. And how could I be so stupid not to see that it's clear in front of me? All I
So there's a huge change there with that tone knob, and I'm just doing a 3.2 decibel boost with the tone knob, and then I'm going to attenuate it with about 1.5 dB backed off on the output. As you can hear, there's also some spatial effects going on, and OVox is great for its effects section. I'm using this reverb and this delay on plate and ping pong mode, and just some really simple settings, but they really open up the vocal in a space without having to have crazy advanced send and returns with lots of complex reverbs and delays. You can really hear the difference that OVox makes. Another common misconception with vocals is you have to really compress them to make them sit well in the mix, and this just simply isn't true. Vocal Rider is a great way to achieve a really natural and balanced sound on any type of vocal. It's super intuitive and easy to use. All you have to do is set your range markers at the above and below decibel range of the rider, and this will inform the rider to either boost or pull back in correspondence with this target control here. If you bring the vocal sensitivity up, this will inform vocal rider if it's listening to vocals or it's listening to the noise floor. So you probably want to boost this a little bit so you're getting more of the vocal coming through, and then it's not going to pick up as much of the room or the noise. Let's have a listen to what this is doing.
All I hear is the sound of fear. We can see we're destined to be.
In the chorus of this song, there's a vocal phrase which I'm going to chop up and manipulate to be able to play on a keyboard using a sampler. Then I've bounced this down to this single track, and I'm going to add Vocal Bender, which is a really great plugin which adjusts the formant of the vocal.
Black and grey.
Vocal Bender literally couldn't be easier to use. I'm just using it here to adjust the formant by 6 semitones. So this is not pitch, this is the actual formant of the vocal, and I've left it at 100% mix. Let's have a listen to this.
Black and grey.
Now what I'm going to do is detect the transients of the vocals, and this picks out the main phrases and characteristics of this part. And then what I'll do is send this to a new impact, which is Presonus' style MPC pad controller. From here, I can now play this as MIDI information with the Vocal Bender effect from the Waves plugin. Here's what I came up with. And to finish off, here's it in context. So there you go. To achieve radio-ready pop vocals doesn't take much effort at all, you just have to use the right tools. I hope you found this useful. For more information, head over to the accompanying article on Production Expert.